Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and today is match day. In 3 hours we kick off versus Leicester City. It is a cup game, it's the Carabao Cup, but it is Ruud van Nistelrooy's first game as interim manager. There will be some rotation, there will be changes because it's a cup game, but Ruud will also look to go strong because it's his game as interim manager. Even if he's going to only manage the next 2 games, I'm sure he'll want to impress. Michael Carrick came out with 100%, not loss rate. He didn't lose a single game. So we'll talk about the match tonight. We'll talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy, his starting 11, what the leaked starting 11 is saying. And then we're also going to talk a bit about Amorim. Is he coming in? When's he coming in? It is essentially done. Amorim is essentially done, but there's a few things that need to happen in regards to Amorim to get his coaches in. This 30-day notice period. United need to pay something to make the 30-day notice period less. We're going to talk about Amorim, when he will be here. I think he's going to be here Monday, Amorim. Based off information that I've got, but there is reports saying he might not come until the international break. We're going to dive into all of the reports, all of the news as well. Lots of reports yesterday said Amorim will be in charge for the Chelsea game. Reports now today are saying he will not be in charge for the Chelsea game. Ruud van Nistelrooy will do the next 2 games. We're going to get into all of that as well. But please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Right now, we are on 96,000 subscribers, 294. So we are 6 subscribers away from 96.3k. So hopefully we can at the end of the day on that road to 100,000 subscribers. So close, guys. But as we're here, let's get into the news first of all. So here's a bit of context on the whole Ruben Amorim situation for you guys. Manchester United and Sporting are still in talks, specifically over Ruben Amorim's start date and compensation for his assistants. Sporting want extra for all staff to move immediately. Amorim will have to see out a month-long notice. United are relaxed about the finer point with no Chelsea-specific deadline in mind as it stands. Amorim will manage Sporting against Estrella on Friday, but there's a good chance of full agreement on compensation and all points before Friday. So Ben Jacobs is essentially saying, in regards to Amorim, there's a month notice period, but United can pay a fee to make that month notice period less. And also Amorim wants to bring in staff with him, so we need to pay a fee to lower the month's notice period and bring the staff with him. There's a belief that United are going to get that sorted out this week. It's a belief that Amorim won't move until the weekend. Chelsea might be too early. United aren't 100% bothered about the Chelsea game. It might be the game versus PAOK. I'm not going to try and say their name because people have been trying to trick me into pronouncing that wrong. So I think that he will be a manager maybe for the Europa League. Let's get into some more news and some more context. Per Jason Burt and Sky Sports News, Ruben Amorim is pretty much signed, sealed and delivered. Is what Jason Burt, very good source of information. I like Jason Burt. I think he's quite good with information. Is saying he's pretty much signed, sealed and delivered. Pretty sure that's a Stevie Wonder song. Was that not? I don't know. It was said still. Expectation at Sporting is that he'll be in charge for their league game on Friday. So I think if he's managing Sporting's league game on Friday, he gets to Manchester United on Saturday, which would make me very shocked if he was to manage us versus Chelsea on Sunday. So again, I think his first league, he would probably come in on the Monday and start, and his first game would be on the Thursday then as well. 96k subs, that's the whole population of Oldham sub to Alice. Yeah, big up everybody that sub. We're so close to 100k. It's absolutely crazy. Mark says it's okay for a month. Yeah, for me, I don't mind having Ruud van Nistelrooy for a couple of games. I said it yesterday. I said I think Ruud van Nistelrooy should get this game, but also get the Chelsea game. I think we shouldn't rush him in for the Chelsea game, create unneeded pressure, give him time to settle, give him time to get to know the squad. I'm more than happy for Ruud to have 3 or 4 games. It's not the end of the world. I'd like him for the game against PAOK in the Europa League. I'd like him for an extra Europa League game because I think it's a winnable game. I think it could be easy, but I think I'm more than happy to have Ruud van Nistelrooy for the next 2 to 3 games. I mean, we could play really badly under Ruud today and all of that, but I don't want to rush it in. It's not the end of the world as well. Big up JB in the chat. Smash the likes, people. Let's get Alice to 100k. Big up everybody in the chat as well. Amorim looks like a good appointment, but he has a lot of work to do and it won't be easy at all. Yeah. Look, Ten Hag was bad. It was bad under Ten Hag and he needed to be sacked. But just because Ten Hag's sacked doesn't mean we're going to be playing amazing football again. It doesn't mean we're going to be miles better. There's still a lot of problems at this club. There's a lot of similarities between Amorim Sporting and Ten Hag's Ajax. There's a lot of things that Amorim will need to change and adjust, all of that as well. That's definitely things as well. But I do think most of all, I think it is a good appointment that I'm happy about. In terms of Amorim, it was said that Sporting are demanding that Manchester United pay another £4 million for the release of the members of Ruben Amorim's staff before he can become the new manager at Old Trafford, and that if Man United agree to pay the £4 million for Amorim's free staff, the Sporting will waive the 30-day notice period. So what is essentially happening right now is we won't get Amorim for 30 days unless we agree to pay £4 million for all his staff, and then we'll get the staff and they will release Amorim. I think United is saying, well, we don't want Amorim for another week anyway, which is, 21 days. Could they maybe lower the £4 million fee to £2 million? I think United are negotiating on lowering that fee just to save a couple million, because we know INEOS, to Man United, a couple million might not be much. That's like, I don't know, some of our players earn pretty much that in a month. But I think with INEOS, they've been really trying their cost cutting, getting rid of members of staff, making players pay for their family to attend matches and all of that. So I think that's why they're probably just trying to get the fee down. INEOS are keen on their cost cutting. Continuing on into this bit of the story, it was said that Manchester United are confident Ruben Amorim will be in place for Sunday's game against Chelsea. Ruud van Nistelrooy expects to leave Man United once Amorim becomes manager, as Amorim is also almost certainly going to bring his own staff with him from Sporting. Two of Amorim's assistants at Sporting are Carlos Fernandez and Adeleo Candido, probably said that wrong, are fully expected to join him at United. So then we got another source saying that Man United, I think Amorim will be manager against Chelsea. You got one source saying it's a month. You got another source saying it's a week. You got another source saying he's going to be manager against Chelsea. I think his first game will be a Europa League game. I think Ruud gets today in Chelsea. I think Amorim will start on Monday. That's my honest opinion. I think that Ruud gets the next two games. I don't think he's going to start, and I don't think he's going to be manager for the Chelsea game. But there is a lot of sources and information saying, look, he will be manager for the Chelsea game as well. Someone said, Alice, Ruud and Amorim, United have got the best looking managers in the league. I mean, that's one thing we might have as well. Alice, do you think Amorim has always been INEOS' choice for coach? Look at signings and such. Potentially. I think INEOS like McKenna, but there was worries because of his level of experience. I think they like Honus, but he wasn't going to move. I think if they could have got Xabi Alonso, they would have chosen Xabi Alonso over Amorim, if I'm going to be totally honest. But I think Amorim was definitely up there because he plays direct, he plays counter, he plays possession, and he plays pressing, which is very similar to elements of Ten Hag's Ajax. There's very similar principles between what Ten Hag did at Ajax and what Amorim does at Sporting. So INEOS will look at the squad, how we've recruited to play, how they want to play, and say, well, if Ten Hag can't execute this, Amorim's executed it really well at Sporting. Amorim took over Sporting at their lowest point. He won them their first league title in 19 years. He brought through youth. He rebuilt the Sporting side. INEOS' hope is, unlike Ten Hag, who couldn't achieve what he achieved in the Netherlands at United, they're hoping that Amorim can achieve what he's achieved in Portugal at United. He was looked at by Liverpool. He was highly regarded by Manchester City as a Pep Guardiola replacement. So he's going to be really high on the list. Alice, I think we'll lose to Chelsea. Thoughts? Yeah, Chelsea are good. I think we'll lose no matter who the manager is. I don't think we win that game. I just think they're better than us. But you never know. I think was it Carrick that had a game against Chelsea and got a result when we were really bad under Ollie? It seems to be Chelsea. We always sack a manager before a Chelsea game. So who knows as well? Would you exchange a player for Amorim? I don't think we could do that. Someone said, interesting. Not long to Amorim sat there. Like, can we stop this Amorim to be sacked in 18 months? Let's just try and be positive and back him. Look, he could be sacked in 18 months and it could be a merry-go-round, but we had to get a new manager in, and I think out of the new managers we brought in, Amorim is one of the best appointments. It was said Sporting believe that Amorim's move to Manchester United is a done deal, and that Ruben Amorim will manage Sporting until the next international break, was said by Record Portugal. So as you can see, there's 5 different sources telling us 5 different things about when Ruben Amorim will start. Now, Record Portugal is Sporting's brief source. Sporting, when they want to sell a player, when a Portuguese club wants to sell a player, they brief to Record Portugal that this club is interested in this player for this much, to then actually scare the other club into paying what they want to sell the player. I think it's a negotiation tactic as well. Ethan Ennis and Jack Fletcher are apparently in the squad today. Jack Fletcher and JC Fitzgerald are actually in the squad today, which is good to see as well. We'll talk about today's squad versus Leicester. It's good to see some youngsters coming in, but I think that's a negotiation tactic. I think we get Amorim next week. I think Ruud manages the next 2 games. I think we get Amorim next week. There's so many mixed sources of information. The Sun and Charlie Wyatt saying Ruben Amorim and 3 of his backroom staff are expected to fly to Manchester tomorrow morning. I don't think that's true, considering he's now been told he's got to manage the game on Friday. It was said, in addition to the €10 million release clause for Ruben Amorim, Sporting want another €5 million from Manchester United for the coaching staff that will also move, plus an extra fee so it can happen imminently. So we're just trying to lower the fees that Sporting want to make the move happen imminently, and also bring in Amorim's coaches. It was said that Ruben Amorim will stay at Sporting for their games against Estrela da Amadora on Friday and could travel to England at the weekend. So Record Portugal was saying, last night that he's going to travel to England at the weekend. They're now saying this morning he's going to stay until the international break. It's interesting, isn't it? Basically, I think he will travel at the weekend, but I think Man United are trying not to pay up everything that Sporting want. So as a negotiation tactic, Sporting are saying, well, they'll keep him to the next international break to potentially hurry United up. But as you can see, some very mixed reporting there. It was then said that Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada remain at the negotiation table in Lisbon with Sporting for Ruben Amorim. It was said that Manchester United's push to appoint Ruben Amorim as their manager is being held up by negotiations with Sporting regarding his 30-day notice period. Manchester United want Amorim in place for Sunday's game against Chelsea, but this may not be possible unless there's a breakthrough in discussions over a 30-day notice period, which is happening today, and that Ruud van Nistelrooy could be given at least 2 games to manage Manchester United on an interim basis as they continue over deal with Amorim. So I think Ruud van Nistelrooy gets today, Ruud van Nistelrooy gets Chelsea. That's what I think is going on, and then I think a new manager comes in. I'm really excited about today's match, guys. I do want to get into that in a second. Someone just asked me about what Amorim said. Well, that is the next slide. Ruben Amorim asked if he'll be in the Man United dugout on Chelsea against Sunday. He replied, "I will be here." Here is in Sporting, and the reporter said definitely, and he went, "Haha, I don't know." Ruben Amorim then said, "I will be clear when there is something to say. The players and the fans deserve a clear explanation. If I do leave, but I am not in a position to speak further about it at the moment." We've got the Amorim to United. Here we go from Fabrizio Romano. We've got confirmation that it's sort of been agreed. It's now a question of when Amorim moves. So Amorim is done. Amorim will join United, but he might join in 30 days. He might join next week, but it is done. It's sort of what's being said as well. Interesting news coming out on the team as well. We're going to dive into that in a second. Only way back's Anthony, right wing back. Anthony's up for sale. Even when Ten Hag was still here, Man United had a meeting with Anthony a month ago, and they told him that he's allowed to go on loan on a permanent. They want to get rid of him, and Anthony agreed apparently. So Anthony's on the way out, even with a new manager as well. He needs to believe in his philosophy. Yeah, hopefully his philosophy comes to United. He makes it work. He believes in it. Apparently he is going to play 3 at the back at United, which will be interesting to see as well. Ruben should use all the available players for this season, but moving forward next season, certain players like Rashford, Shaw, Lindelof need to be released regardless of the performances. So you're telling me if Rashford had a 30-goal season under Amorim, you'd release him? Amorim comes in, Rashford gets 30 goals again. Would you actually? I wouldn't. Shaw and Lindelof, fair enough. Lindelof released, Shaw the injuries. But Rashford's the only attacker in our squad that can score more than 10 goals in a season. Well, sorry, more than 15 goals in a season. Højlund got 15 last season or 16. Højlund probably can if we give him service. I think Højlund could become a monster under Amorim. I think Højlund could be a monster. I like Garnacho, but he's raw. I like Amma, but he's raw. Anthony's crap. Rashford is the only player that's capable. If he's crap this season, you sell Rashford. 2 crap seasons in a row, you got to go. But he's the only player in this squad that's capable of 30-goal season. And if he has a 30-goal season under Amorim, I wouldn't be selling him. I wouldn't, let alone releasing him on a free. Guys, I wanted to talk about 2 young players that really impressed me. Now, I've been speaking about JC Fitzgerald for a while, but Jack Fletcher and JC Fitzgerald are on the bench for today's game. Now, JC Fitzgerald's played centre-back, he's played centre-mid, he's played attacking midfield. He is more of an attacking-minded midfielder. And it's good to see him get in the squad with Jack Fletcher because they've been so impressive at youth level. And I think we talk about sort of players like Obi Martin and Sekou Kone, but these guys in the academy, they're so talented. As someone that's watched a couple of academy games, they're players that aren't spoken about as much, particularly JC Fitzgerald, that have always heavily impressed me when I've seen them. Bruno Fernandes will remain as United captain. Mazraoui starts. Agate is very, very happy. Agate's been spotted smiling. To be honest, if you're Agate, you see Ten Hag's not giving you Premier League minutes, and then the man that you played your best football in is coming to Man United, you're thinking, yeah. I'm sorry, Agate must be thinking, I got out of PSG, I'll come to United. He's like, now Amorim's coming to United. Agate's like, I made the right move. Agate must have been sitting there on the bench when you got 0 minutes versus West Ham, like, what? Agate's now thinking, thank God I moved to United, because he's probably very gassed that Amorim is coming in as well. Mason Mount apparently is still injured. Who knows what's going on with Mason Mount? Apparently he's still injured. I mean, I think Shaw and Mount keep having injury setbacks. I think they'll probably just go off the basis of the fact that they can't stay fit. Would you see any academy players doing well under Amorim? Harry Amas. I'm very excited to see Harry Amas under Amorim. I think Obi Martin again could be good under Amorim as well. I think there's lots of interesting things. The Times have come out and said Sporting have told Ruben Amorim they want him to take charge of their next fixture, and then they can negotiate with United. So what's coming out from the reliable Times is that Amorim will manage Sporting's game on Friday, and then they might release him if United pay up. Is sort of what's being said there as well. Alice, do you have any concerns for tonight's match? Look, it's one of those where we know Ruud van Nistelrooy is only going to be here for 1 or 2 games. I'd like to see some young players get minutes. I'd like to see some good football. I'd like to see a win. I'd like to just see improvement and a fresh feeling at United. And hopefully that's what we get. Agate is starting. The Leeds lineup has Agate starting. Harry Amas is also on the bench. So we will get into that. I think that'll be exciting to see as well. But it's good to see young players in. It's good to see Harry Amas, JC Fitzgerald all getting on the bench. Agate starting. It's good to see that as well. Someone said, I don't see where Rashford will fit an Amorim system. I think he might let him go elsewhere. I think Rashford fits his system well because he likes narrow forwards. I think Garnacho's a wide forward with his energy, his legs. Rashford's a narrow forward. Ten Hag likes wide forwards. Amorim likes narrow forwards. So I'm more concerned about Garnacho than I am about Rashford. Because I really like Garnacho and I think there's a great player there. But I think he suits Rashford more than Garnacho. Guys, we've got 1,200 people watching right now. We're only on 170 likes. Let's go for 400 likes. 400 likes. Can we do that? Only 1 in 3 of you need to hit that like button. And of course, do subscribe down below if you're new. We're on that road to 100,000 subscribers. I'm 2 subscribers away from 96.3k. I'm on 96,298 subscribers. So 2 away from 96.3k. That big journey to 100k would be amazing. I'm doing a match reaction. I'm going to do a 5 things we learned from Manchester United versus Leicester tonight. I won't do a watch long, but I'm going to do a match reaction, 5 things we learned from the game. I'm also going to be doing a video tomorrow breaking down Ruud van Nistelrooy's tactics. There's also going to be a live stream tomorrow of all the latest news. We're going to do videos breaking down matches, tactics, games, facts. We do 10-minute news roundup videos, and then we do live shows where we interact and we speak about the news. So if that does sound like a thing, please do subscribe. But sell Mount and Shaw, finally get rid of them, wasting money. To be honest, I think Mount and Shaw, if they could stay fit, could be good players under Amorim, but I know they won't stay fit, so I think we just have to look at selling them as well. Defensively, we need to be much stronger. We have been conceding way too many goals recently. In addition to this, our attack's been struggling. We haven't scored enough goals. Must take chances. Basically, Jay, everything's wrong because the midfield's a mess, the defence is conceding, and the attack isn't scoring. But yes, you are right. I think Højlund has goals in him. Højlund has goals in him if we get the ball to him. Rashford has goals in him if we get the ball to him. If Amorim can fix that, we'll get the goals. Midfield needs to be fixed. I think the defence individually is good, but I think the lack of setup and the out-possession structure in midfield has caused the defence to struggle. So I think that can be fixed as well. Jack Fletcher's brilliant. Yeah, it's great to see Jack Fletcher involved as well. Do you think we could win a trophy this season? Absolutely. Not the Premier League, not the Champions League, because we're not in it. But I think if we can get back on track in the Europa League, I think that's our competition to win. I think for me, top 6 and Europa League win would make the season a lot better. Top 6 in the Prem, Europa League win, maybe win a Carabao FA Cup on top of that. But that's what we need as well. Will be more competition for places in attack in a system, no longer with an attacking midfield. But yeah, the question is Bruno going to play deeper as a number 8, or is Bruno going to play as the shadow striker? Bruno, Ahmad and Xerxes can all play as the shadow striker behind Højlund at Amorim's system, but Bruno and Maino could also compete for that number 8 spot where they'll be flicking the balls into Højlund, which would be great to see as well. Next season, see you in the Championship. Go away. Go away. I'm thinking about our transfer plans now. We're likely to get 2 defenders next summer, Branthwaite and who. What will happen to our midfield? Fans feel like we're building towards a 4-3-3, but we might now be going to a 3-4-3. Now, I think I liked this actually. Someone, was it? Because they were thinking along the same lines as me. I want to show you. This is it, Ethan. I think Ethan's pretty spot on here. This is what I'd like to see. Oh, under Amorim. I think we could see something like this. There we go. Alphonso Davies at left back would be ideal. Centre back, Branthwaite would be my pick, but Hancho could be an option, yeah. Winger, because we're looking at, a bigger centre back. Winger 10 hybrid, Kudus, Eze, Xavi Simons. Kudus would be my pick. Kudus, Alphonso Davies, Branthwaite, and then Stiller at DM would be insane. Obviously, Palacios and Wharton are options as well. They're probably the type of people that United could be looking at as well. Someone says, I like that Garnacho is very forward thinking and likes to be direct, but his end product in the final third can improve quite a bit. The final pass, the cross, and the shot can be better. I agree. I think also with Garnacho, I'm not too worried about that because I think a lot of it is just his age and all of that as well. I think Garnacho will grow. I think Garnacho will get better. I think a lot of it is just his age at the moment, being young, being raw, but there are definitely elements of Garnacho's game that he needs to improve 100% as well. I'm worried about counter-attack against us. We need to score goals. Yeah, we're very susceptible to counter-attacks, but that was the setup under Ten Hag, so hopefully that can be changed as well. I'm guessing Bruno will play as an 8 next to Ugarte for a bit. We do not have many 8s that can play line-breaking passes. I agree. 300 likes. We got everybody in the chat. Let's go for 400 likes. We've got 1,200 people watching right now. Amorim could temporarily keep it with a back four while he implements his philosophy. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he starts with a 4-2-3-1 and then changes to a 3-4-3 because the 4-2-3-1 has the pivot. You can have the narrow forwards. It just means that your fullbacks aren't as attacking. I think you could start with a 4-2-3-1. The phone is going off as well. Eriksen's injured because Ten Hag overplayed him. A lot of players are injured. I wouldn't say Ten Hag overplayed him. I think Eriksen was playing well, so he kept getting his place as well. Would you get Mbeumo? Yeah, Mbeumo's a good option. He's been linked to Liverpool and he's been linked to Newcastle. I said in the summer Newcastle should sign him. I said in the summer it'd be really smart signing for Newcastle and Mbeumo. I'm surprised they didn't go for him, and they're now looking at him now. If Rashford does get 30 goals this season, he'll be a sellable asset. Still needs to be replaced because he's not creating a 30-goal season. I mean, for me, Rashford's one of the last players I'd sell unless he has a crap season as well. How do you feel about the whole situation? I'm still kind of just, it is what it is. Hope it works out. At least we have good fixtures coming up. Big fan. Thank you, Call Me AG, for the super chat. Much appreciated. I think, for me, it's sad when a manager gets sacked. Because I think when Ollie got sacked and Rangnick came in, we got excited and it didn't get better. And I think that I like that Ruud here as interim, and I like the appointment of Amorim, but I'm also like there's still a lot of problems at this club that wasn't just on Ten Hag, and I think that it can get better, but I'm not expecting miracles. For me, I just want to see us scoring goals. I want to see a better mood around United. I want to see better football, and if we don't see that, it will be depressing. But we've not seen it yet. If we're going to predict the future, I like to be positive. But it's sad. Like I think Ten Hag had to be sacked. I think it was the right decision to sack Ten Hag, but it's sad when a manager's sacked and a new one comes in and you have to spend money to do this and do that. But it also can be exciting. We needed a change. There's an exciting new band coming in. There is a possibility he flops and we're here again in 18 months. But if that's what we have to do to find the right manager to make it work, that's what we've got to do. We tried giving Ten Hag 3 seasons. It was a waste of time this season. So it's sad, but you know what? If the manager doesn't have favouritism, if the manager starts playing good football, if we start scoring goals, but most importantly, I want to see improvements in our players. The thing that's been concerning me the most under under Ten Hag was I didn't feel like any of our players were improving. And I want to see improvements in our players. And I think Ruben Amorim, that's what I want to see. Can he improve the players? Can he get us playing good football? Can he get us scoring goals again? That's what I'm excited to see if Ruben Amorim can bring that to United. And at Sporting, he did that. If he can recreate what he did at Sporting in the Premier League at Manchester United at the high level, we could be onto something massive. There's a lot of changes. There's a 3 at the back. There's loads of things that are going to change, but I think there's also a lot to be excited for. There's reasons to be nervous. I don't think he's going to come in and we're going to be transformed. I don't think it's going to be a massive new manager bounce. I think it's going to be hit and miss. We might look a little bit like Spurs this season where they have a good game, they have a bad game, but you can actually see what Andrew's trying to do. We couldn't see what Ten Hag was trying to do. Yeah, there's lots. Ruud van Nistelrooy has arrived for his first game. Harry Amas, JC Fitzgerald and Jack Fletcher on the bench. Should we talk about the reported lineup going about for tonight's match? Because Eriksen is injured, so he's dropped out. Ugarte is in the lineup. Should we talk about the lineup for tonight's match then? So the lineup, there's a leaked lineup going about for tonight's match, which is interesting. So I'm going to get this up here. So he's gone with a 4-2-3-1 apparently. So again, this isn't confirmed. This isn't the confirmed lineup, but this is what's sort of being leaked as well. 3-year project, yeah. I think, but we have to see progress from year one in year two. Otherwise, sack him in year two. So yeah, let's talk about the lineup. So it's Agate is starting apparently. From what has been leaked, Agate is starting with Casemiro in the pivot. And Bruno is the number 10. So that is the reported midfield starting today. Rashford is starting on the left wing, apparently. I don't know what the defence is, but I'm assuming it is. Harry Amos is on the bench, so I'm assuming the defence is this. So we'll get into this. Anana, I don't know, he might play Bayendir. To be fair. I was about to put Yoro in. Yoro's not fit. What am I on about? Delict. Martinez. So there will be some, I think there will be some kind of rotation. So Garnacho's played a lot lately. So I think there will be some kind of rotation in there. But this is what the sort of rumoured starting 11 is tonight. This is the rumoured starting 11. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any changes, because I think that's quite strong for a cup game. So I wouldn't be shocked. If maybe we see Xerxes here. Because I do think that's quite strong for a cup game. But that is the rumoured starting 11 ahead of tonight. Have to keep changing gaffers until we find the right one. A bit more class in the event a gaffer sacked. I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if we see also Lindelof get minutes. I think because it's a cup game, Van Nistelrooy also will want to rotate. But apparently that's the starting 11. But I think that's quite strong for a cup game. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some rotations. But apparently it's confirmed that Agate is starting as well. So that's good. Agate's smiling. He knows he's starting. It's good to see Agate starting. No Mount, no Ericsson. Casemiro, Agate, Bruno, midfield 3 has been confirmed apparently. So it's going to be exciting. But I think what's more exciting is Harry Amos, Jack Fletcher, JC Fitzgerald, all the youth and exciting players on the bench as well. Might have to go a bit strong. We need the momentum, which is true from Alex as well. INEOS just spent 400 million in the summer. How can you think about Davies because he's 3? Simmons, Kudus because we've got to spend. We can sell. Hopefully we sell Casemiro for a bit of money as well. Is Kobe injured? I assumed he is, although I'm not 100% sure. Don't know why else he would be absent from the squad. He's injured. He's injured and he won't be back until the November international break. Euro should be back in the November international break as well. Wasn't Malassi reported to start today? No. That was a fake rumour going about as well. So yeah, Malassi isn't in the squad. Harry Maguire in a back 3 under Amorim. I think Maguire would be fine under Amorim as well. Kobe needs the rest, to be fair. Garnacho could play right wing back, as Euro's good channel defender, also high on the right side, just cross the ball. Yeah, but I don't think Garnacho would want to. I think Garnacho wants to get goals, wants to get assists, he wants to get forward. I don't think he's got the defensive instincts. He's got the work rate, but I don't think he's got the defensive instincts to do that. I just need Amma to be starting over Garnacho on a regular basis. We're hurting his development and ceiling a lot higher than Garnacho's. I think if Garnacho's playing better than Ahmad, then Garnacho starts. But I think for Garnacho's development, to rotate him more with Ahmad is better for both of them. Ahmad needs to play more. If we're playing Garnacho every single game, we're wearing it out. So I agree for Garnacho's and Ahmad's development that I think Garnacho coming off the bench a couple of games, starting a couple of games rather than starting every game and playing 90 minutes is so much better for Garnacho's development, and it's of course so much better for Amad Diallo's development as well. Alice, do you think we'll make signings in January? I think we could sign a fullback in January, and I think we'll sign a fullback in January. I think it'll be like 1 signing in January, maybe 2 if there's an injury in midfield or attack. I think we'll probably get a fullback, particularly a left-sided fullback in January if I was to make any predictions for what United would do in January as well. Surely it's going to get better today. Surely. It can't get much worse. I don't think we were that bad versus West Ham. I think Michael Oliver's a knob. Do you know what's annoyed me? It's because Ten Hag's been sacked. It's taken all the attention away from how bad that VAR decision was, that we've got no apology. We've not had a single apology from the Premier League over that VAR decision. Not one. And that is because they've masked the fact that was absolutely incompetent. they've masked the fact that it was an absolutely incompetent decision from Michael Oliver, who's made incompetent after incompetent after incompetent decision against United. And they thought, well, Ten Hag's been sacked. They're all talking about Ten Hag being sacked in Amorim, that nobody really cares about Michael Oliver anymore. So the Premier League have used that noise to push it away. But Michael Oliver, that was a disgraceful decision, and he gets away with it. Again, absolutely disgraceful decision. I will say that. That is one of the most ridiculous penalty decisions I've ever seen. It is a coming together. It's a coming together. It's not even like Højlund makes first contact. Ings runs into Højlund. Ings also handballs it, and they don't really complain about it. The ref doesn't give it, because why would the ref give that? And Michael Oliver's sitting on VAR thinking, oh, how can I screw over United today? How can I screw over United because I'm a Newcastle fan and also I work for the UEA and I get paid by Manchester City, because it's all a bit corrupt. How can I screw over United? That's what he's thinking. He gets away with it as well. Sells Xerxes. Guys, Xerxes not had a chance. Xerxes comes in. We played 3 or 4 games where we looked like a better team with Xerxes in the squad. Then Ten Hag started asking Xerxes to do the same role Sebastian Haller does. And then Xerxes drops off. And now because Xerxes had 3 bad games in a row, everyone wants him sold. Xerxes got back-to-back assists in his last 2 games, okay? Why are people wanting Xerxes sold after about 4 games? He's a good player in Xerxes. I think Xerxes will start tonight as well. Coney, Obi Martin, Amas look good. I think, we've got some really, really exciting youngsters. I think Xerxes is going to start with Højlund. I know the leaked lineup has Højlund in it, but I think he's going to start Xerxes today. I do. I think he might start Xerxes and ask Bruno to play a little bit deeper. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that in starting 11 later on as well. It can't be any worse with Ruud van Nistelrooy. VAR, that's in the past now. They're protecting Michael Oliver because Erik ten Hag was fired, so bury the apology. Basically, yeah. Bruno has been the creative engine of United's midfield. Have we seen any tactical shifts this season that give him more or less freedom to roam and dictate play? Bruno's tactical shift under Ten Hag this season was to press more and run around like a headless chicken, which meant that when Bruno got the ball, he had less energy to do what he wanted to do and make us play well. Hopefully, Ruud van Nistelrooy changes that in well. In 18 months, we're going to start chancing Amorim out and ruin the career of another good and talented manager. I mean, that is the fear. That's the last thing we want. I think the difference with Amorim now compared to all the other managers we sat post Alex Ferguson, and I think people need to remember this, is Amorim's actually coming in and working under a good structure. We've had so many managers post Sir Alex Ferguson, so many managers, but they've all worked under the bad structure. We've now got a manager coming in and working under a good structure. So I think in that instance, it could be different with Amorim. Look, we're hoping for change. The way I see it now is we need to give Amorim time, but we need to see progress. First season is going to be iffy. Next season, his first full season with a summer transfer window, do we see improvement? I'm not expecting him to challenge for the league. I'm not expecting anything crazy, but next season, if Amorim gets us back in the top 4, playing good football, we then give him another summer, and then in his 3rd season, but it will be, his 2nd full season, if we're seeing more goals, if we're seeing better football, if we're improving our league position, you keep him. If it starts to stagnate or go downhill like Ten Hag did, you sack him. The difference with Amorim is he's coming in and he's going to be here with INEOS. He's not had to deal with Arnold and Murta. The recruitment under Amorim will be done by experts. The only recruitment that's been done under Ten Hag was this summer, which was done by experts. And this summer, Euro, I think, is a fantastic signing. Agati, I think, is going to be fantastic under Amorim. So that's 2 dubs. Mazraoui, 15 million look like a bargain. De Ligt has looked really good. The only question mark has been Xerxes. But we've also seen that the managers used Xerxes completely wrong. And in the 3 games they used Xerxes the right way, we were better with Xerxes on the pitch. And it's a 30 million signing. So for me, I'm happy with this summer more than any other summer. And the people that did this summer are going to be dealing with Amorim rather than the people that have been dealing with our past summers and screwing up as well. It's also INEOS' decision, the managerial appointment, that, Erik ten Hag was inherited exactly. This is who INEOS want. This is who INEOS are going to back. I'm putting trust in INEOS. The Glazers have run this club so badly for 20 plus years, so the club is a mess. Absolute mess. The Glazers have run us to the ground for 20 plus years. Well, not 20 plus years. It's like 20 years. I think it's like 18, 19 years. But it's basically 20 years. So INEOS are not going to undo the Glazers mess in a couple of months. People were saying INEOS out. Silly. I don't get people that were saying INEOS out. They've sacked Ten Hag. Within a day of sacking Ten Hag, they brought in another elite manager. INEOS got rid of Arnold, they got rid of Murta, they brought in Omar Barad out of nowhere, they managed to lure in Dan Ashworth. You don't understand how good Dan Ashworth is. Trust me, he's so good. Got in Dan Ashworth, we're going to see that. Jason Wilcox, Vival, the new stadium is being built. Obi Martin, Kone, academy players coming in. Because he doesn't sack a manager, you know, after 7 games, people are saying INEOS out, INEOS are rubbish. Look what they did this summer. Look who they brought in. They've now sacked Tanog. They've now brought in Amorim. INEOS, we can't judge them off for a couple of months, but if we're going to judge them on the last couple of months, I think they've done a good job. I wanted full sale. I wanted Glazers out. I was really worried when Sergio Ratcliffe and INEOS came in, but they have impressed me. So let's not be INEOS out. We can't judge INEOS until we're 3 seasons deep. If we're crap 3 seasons deep and the recruitment's been crap 3 seasons deep, we may have to say, you know what, INEOS aren't it. But they've brought the people in that we wanted to bring in. They've brought the footballing structure. They've now brought in their manager. They've done it smooth. They've done it effectively. They haven't been leaking stuff to the media. They're not allowing the Glazers to take out dividends. I think we're on the way up, and I feel quite positive that we are on the way up, and I feel quite positive for the future, despite being 14th, and despite the season being abysmal. You know, we can sit here and we could be negative, or we're just going to sack him in 18 months and go round and round. It's never going to get better. Or we can say, do you remember when Arsenal felt it was never going to get better, and it got better at Arsenal? It's going to get better. We are going to go up, and I believe that INEOS will let us go up. That's me. Got to be positive as well. Hopefully Amorim makes changes like Flick did at Barca, yeah. Alex says, De Ligt gives me Vidic vibes, a bit style-wise, how he puts his body on the line and gets aggressive after everything. Yeah, and I like that from De Ligt as well. What does Amorim mean for Sancho? Well, Sancho's got an obligation to buy unless Chelsea finish below 10th in the league. So I think that Sancho will be gone anyway. It doesn't really matter that. It takes time to put things right after what the Glazers did. The future is bright, guys. Next season, the team will have more youthful and hopefully way better. Yeah, hopefully be way better. That's the big hope as well. Someone said Flick's changed nothing. I think Barca look better under Flick. They just beat Real Madrid 4-0. Like, De Ligt's better on the ball than he's... I think... And De Ligt's better on the ball than he's shown with us thus far. Yeah, the system doesn't help players. The biggest problem for me with Ten Hag was I felt that he was misprofiling players, and I felt that he was playing how he wanted to play more than what would actually work with the players. You don't play Xerxes and ask him to do what Sebastian Haller did. Xerxes is so different from Sebastian Haller. You don't play Agate and ask him to be a guy in build-up and then ask Maino to do off the ball work when Maino's good in build-up and Agate is good off the ball work. It was the misprofiling players. You don't have Rashford, who's a left forward, playing practically right back and then getting the low forward who misses open goals. You don't. As well. Someone said... blah blah what? Oh no, someone's just chatting shite. Someone's just chatting shite as well. Alice, do you think Ruben Amorim can win the league? Come on. Maybe in the future, but not anytime soon. We can't be too deludedly positive as well. I'm actually impressed with INEOS and all the signings so far. Me too as well. And Amorim has started boarding. Looking at the replays of the United games. Oh my. But look, listen, people, please do go ahead and hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, and share the video. I'm going to be back tonight, and tonight I'm going to be doing what we learned from Manchester United 1, not Manchester United 1, Leicester 1, Manchester United versus Leicester. Hopefully a win versus Leicester. We'll do what we've learned from that game. Positive breakdown of that game. So make sure you subscribe for that. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. I'll be back breaking down tonight's match and what we've learned from the match from Van Nistelrooy and his tactics and what to expect, and hopefully lots of positives in tonight's video. So smash the likes, subscribe if you're new. I will be back tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye.